morning to you. It's so nice to see you
Oh, likewise.
here.
Thanks
and
for
you said
having
your 5-year-old son, James, may be watching us?
He may have sacrificed his normal scheduled viewing of Cyber Chase to have seen
to
you.
see Mommy.
Yeah, well, more importantly, to see you. But he still, it was unclear last night when he fell asleep. He said, I haven't decided yet, so why don't you tape the Today Show? Tape the Today Show.
And he'll see. Well,
Yeah.
if he is watching, I want to talk first about Smart People.
Okay,
Because
great.
we had Dennis Quaid on last week. I saw the movie. It is a dark comedy. There's a
Yeah.
lot of humor, but at its core, it's about loneliness, really, and trying to find love and missing it. What attracted you to this particular kind of movie?
I thought the script was beautiful. It's incredibly smart. It's such a great observation of real life and the moments alone we spent in our pursuit of love or contentment or satisfaction. And the screenwriter is so talented. And I had just worked with Michael London on The Family Stone, and he produced Sideways as well. He just has
That same sensibility is here,
He
yeah.
has really great taste, and he works with writers so beautifully. And Dennis was already cast, and Thomas Hayden Church, and Ellen Page, who at that time hadn't even shot Juno yet, but there was this, people were speaking about how gifted and special she was, and I just simply loved that script, and I was excited about the director, and it was a very different part, which is, obviously what I'm most curious and interested in doing.
Your character, she's a doctor, obviously a smart person, but not necessarily when it comes to love. She's been alone a lot. You, as a person, you're happily married. Have you always been a smart person when it comes to love and relationships?
I don't know. I think it's sort of a rite of passage to not have been. I always tell the younger women that I'm around, and I seem to be around more and more younger women, and I seem to be the older person lately. But I always tell them to relish having made a bad choice. As long as they're safe and not in any way hurt physically. I mean, the emotional part of that. You must look back on that and really love that time that you thought, I'll never get over this. I've made such a terrible choice. He's broken my heart. And I think later in life you really think, God, that was fantastic. Those are the salad days, And yeah, I probably made some wrong choices, but I'm really kind of glad that I have, because I think you just make better choices afterwards, and you want to have made some wrong choices. You don't want to get it right so early in life, because it's all in front of you, I think.
But it's like a lot of the frogs before you find the prince, essentially.
Yeah, and I think it adds more value to that prince. It can't always be summer. You got to earn it.
And you have a prince in Matthew Broderick.
I do
You sure
indeed.
do. And your son, as we said, who may or may not be watching.
Yes.
And I understand, I read that he's now involved in politics, your son?
Well, no, this is what happens. This is that bad, telephone game. No, a journalist asks me, and we spend a lot of time, do you want that pen? Do you
No,
need
it's
it?
fine.
Okay.
Leave it. I know enough.
Okay. So we obviously, this election cycle's been very exciting, and obviously we're Democrats. And my son right now is he's like, those single issue voters, he's gender issue. Barack is a boy or a man.
Right.
And he wants all boys and men to win. Basically everything. It's not really about his health care policy. There is something substantial there, but
what about McCain? Isn't McCain a man?
He's not. He's a Democrat. James Wilkie's a Democrat.
Oh, so he knows enough that mom and dad are Democrats.
Yes, and he said, and so therefore I am.
Okay.
Exactly how he said it to me last week. He said, Mama, you're a Democrat, and I said yes. And he said, and Papa's a Democrat, and I said yes. And he said, and so therefore I'm a Democrat, and I said, for the time being, yes. Until you're 18 and you can vote on your own, you make your own choices.
I have to congratulate you, by the way. You were the first recipient of the Show West Vanguard Award that honors people who have range as both an actor or actress and an entrepreneur. Which is right, because you have your own clothing line, Bitten.
I do.
So for all those moms out there that are trying to juggle, what is your secret to be able to have the clothing line and be an actress, the whole thing?
I feel like I'm probably inspired by all those working mothers who, feel like they're dancing as fast as they can and lie in bed at night and think of all the things they didn't accomplish, and sometimes allow themselves to think about the things they actually did do. I'm really inspired by my mother, and I'm not even being Pollyanna. It's the truth. I think there's so many working women and working mothers who have so much less than I do in order to help make it possible. And honestly, I just... I feel like I'm just like them. You simply do the best you can. Your children are okay and well taken care of, and you feel good about where they are, and the rest can fall into place. And without him being all right, nothing
else matters.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Before I let you go, you're going to be back in May for Sex and the City, which is coming out. The trailer suggests that you don't find love in the end with Big, right?
Does it?
Yeah, that Carrie
Is that
continues
how
her
you
sex.
read the trailer?
That's right, and Charlotte gets pregnant, and
Is
Miranda
that what
gets
you saw in the
Is
trailer,
that all
Meredith?
true?
Who knows?
Oh,
Who
you're
knows?
such a...
I'll be
You've
back in
always
May.
been a tease. She's always been a tease. Still ahead, Kathy Lee Gifford joins us as the new host of the Fourth Hour. Is she ready?